I could get.
Hello, Debbie. Right on as we popped on screen. Here comes Debbie. Good morning, Debbie. Debbie's on it.
More than the rest of us can stay.
Right. We're kind of winging it by this, as we go here. Thank you for joining. We're gonna wait a couple minutes before we get into our topic today, just because it takes a minute for the notifications to go out. Let everybody know that we are here and we are live and we have pictures of a cemetery. We were kind of talking about them even before we started the live. Just making sure we had all of our facts, doing some research on the side. But we'll be talking about Bonaventure Cemetery. And it's considered one of the most, if not the most haunted cemetery in Savannah. And a treat is that one of our online friends, Melanie, sent us pictures that she herself took. So we'll be sharing those.
I'm looking at them on my phone, so I'm not being rude. I'm looking at the pictures.
No, that's fine. But yeah, guys, feel free to comment, join in, give us your take on what you might be seeing in the pictures, what you're picking up. Kayla, psychic medium, so she's given some extra info on the pictures based off the vibe she gets from them. Which you were already saying earlier, like, some of these friends like to go home with people.
Right.
Just to go make new friends and be like, come back and visit us again.
Right. Yeah, they're not like, they don't seem like harmful ones that are taking off. The people are just like, oh, hey, you're new. Kind of like a puppy. Like, ooh, puppy. I'll get in the white van with you.
So, and I'm still getting all of the PDFs loaded up to be able to share them. There's quite a few. So hopefully Melanie can join us and let us know if she's here, if she can.
She's been every other one. Now we're finally at her picture, so hopefully she's here. Otherwise, we're gonna end up having to we'll wait for her for another week, I guess. I don't know.
No, she was on with us last night for the healing corner and told her that we were doing it. So
she should, yeah.
Waiting to come on, but let me see. Do I have all of the pictures? There we go. I think this is the last one to get loaded up. So hopefully our friends watching and joining as we put the pictures up, you might be able to see clearly on the screen. We'll leave them up for a little bit for each picture to give you time to kind of, hopefully if you can zoom around, kind of see what you can see and any feelings you might be getting. It's a safe space to share your opinions and what you might be feeling. Melanie can join us, but she had sent in pictures for Bonaventure Cemetery down in Savannah, Georgia. And again, one of the most, if not the most haunted cemetery. It's rather large. It used to be called the Evergreen Cemetery. And the city owns this plot of land now. It had been a plantation, so it was rather large. But now it is a public cemetery. And one of the things that were put up in to like memorialize some of this history was this fountain. And Melanie mentioned that she feels she caught something to the side. So if you guys are able to, take a minute or two, look through it, see what you might be picking up, see if you can see what Melanie thinks she caught. And Kayla, it might be easier for you to zoom in on the phone than your StreamYard screen.
So before you said something about the left side of the screen, right? Is that the one that was on the left side?
Yeah, kind of in front of like the background. That's the thing I think she was picking up on that I was really kind of,
So
picturing.
I'm looking at now, like, interestingly enough, I didn't catch it on my phone, but when I saw it up here on the screen, to the right side above, I'm zooming in to see if that's like a tree stump or a monument. It's a monument. Okay. So to the right side, but like just above the greenery that's close to the bottom of the fountain, the really bright stuff, and like the tallest part of that, like straight up above from that.
Hello, Melanie. Melanie
You're
is
here.
here. Hello.
We're finally doing your pictures.
Yes, we're here. We got them. I got the ones in my hands, and we got them loaded up on the screen.
Thank you for your patience.
Yes, Debbie's like, do I see two orbs? Maybe. Honestly, right now I've got my backlight here, so it's hard to look on the screen. So I'm going to look for the real one. But Kayla, you were saying to the right of the fountain above the greenery, right?
So there's like a headstone there that like kind of sticks out, and then just to the left of that, but between the fountain.
Okay. I am flipping. Now, what are you picking up from what you're seeing?
I'm actually feeling a guy, like he looks like he's bent over, like standing, but like bent over looking down. It feels like he's looking for somebody over in that section, not where the fountain is, but he's looking for somebody over there. I'm just trying to zoom into it more. So I don't know. I'm going to try. I don't know if I can. I don't know if this is going to work because it's going to be a screen and a screen. So
here, let me remove
this area right there. Whoa.
There we go.
This area, trying to point like right in there.
Okay. Huh.
So is that showing up okay? It's kind of hard for me to look at the phone and the screen and the.
Yeah, you're centered with it.
So, okay. So that area, I did not pick that up when I was first looking at the pictures. Like we were just looking at this picture, like what, 15 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. And it's like really standing out to me very predominantly right now. That he is out there looking. Also, look, it feels like he's kind of there, like almost as like a maintenance person. He's like checking on things and checking on people, kind of like, I want to say like a guardian or protector, but he's just there like monitoring what's going on. But he's checking things out.
So do you think he used to work in the cemetery?
That's what I feel like he did. Well, I'm actually thinking he's tied to the plantation part of it, is what it feels like to me. It was like he was before that, but he was very protective. So I didn't read the history part. I actually didn't know the cemetery until late last night when I was getting ready to go to bed. Was there any carryover from like when it was transferred from like the plantation family to like being a park? Like, was there anybody that like merged over to be able to stay part of it? That kind of a thing. That might not have even been documented. I don't know.
It's sold 3 or 5 times, and maybe Melanie remembers more on that.
So I would say this would have been like early on, like right at the beginning when it first was transitioning. Because this seems like long ago, and it's like somebody that wanted to stay there that was like a caretaker for other things, but like stayed as it transitioned, and is just choosing to stay there to like watch over things, be a caretaker, maintain things.
Yeah, and it was. I'm trying to find which tab has the full history.
He feels very friendly. I feel like when people are over in that area, like I don't feel like he's a bad spirit, dark spirit at all. I feel like he gets really close to people and maybe even touches people, like walks really close with them. Kind of like, ooh, can you see this? Can you feel this? Like, look at, like, I feel like he's trying to give almost like a history tour or like a, I know this person kind of a thing. Like he thinks he's giving people a tour, but if you're not tapped into him, it's not very helpful.
Bonaventure Cemetery began as Bonaventure Plantation, owned by Colonel John Mulrain. On March 10th, 1846, the plantation and its private cemetery, then 600 acres, was sold to Peter Wiltberger The first burials at Bonaventure took place in 1850, and by 1853, Peter Wiltberger himself was entombed in the family vault. Peter's son, William, formed the Evergreen Cemetery Company on June 12, 1868. On July 7th, 1907, the city of Savannah purchased the Evergreen Cemetery Company and made the private Bonaventure Plantation Cemetery public, renaming it to Bonaventure Cemetery. So it is subject of a nonprofit group, the Bonaventure Historical Society. Even though the city of Savannah is in charge of operations, the Historical Society ensures that the cemetery, as well as the spirits who still reside there, will be well taken care of and respected.
So I got a really, really strong positive for it being the guy that you said that owned the, what was his name? Peter?
So it started with John Mulrain, and then Peter Wiltberger.
That's where I got the really strong hit for. So
I'm going to put the link for this page with that history in chat. So
if anybody's wondering what I was staring at, and I'm getting a guess for it being him. So
okay. Oh, nice. Melanie says the original plantation was destroyed in a fire. So there we go. Rather large, like 600 acres. Huge, right?
Yeah.
So the history that I was just reading came from that website that I put in the link. So if anybody would like to go read more on that. Let's see. Oh, Bonaventure Cemetery was made a national celebrity when author John Muir began his 1,000-mile walk to Florida, resting for 6 days and nights in the Bonaventure Cemetery. It sounds a little bit like Forrest Gump.
I was just thinking that, but a little bit more cemetery.
But there are a lot of famous people buried in that cemetery, including singer John Mercer, who I was like, must be before my time. I don't know who John Mercer is, but it kind of reminds me, and Melanie, let me know if I'm wrong. Like if you think of the cemeteries down in New Orleans with all the famous people and everything, I feel like this would be Savannah's version of one of those like historical, beautiful monuments, you know, celebrities, artists, painters, sculptors, you know, they're all in this, you know, cemetery.
Your Lakewood Cemetery is like that too, right by you. There's a lot of cool things.
Yeah, and fun enough.
Reminded me of when you sent it to me. I was like looking at it first because you didn't tell me the name or anything, and I was like, I don't remember these at Lakewood, but it kind of has like that vibe to it.
Yeah, Lakewood Cemetery now. If you go into like the admin building or whatever, they have made a fun little game, if you will, where there are certain tombstones and plots that they want you to go find because they're such unique markers. So just to help make sure you see all the cool spots of it. Don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it's really fun.
Okay, do any of you have a connection to this? This is kind of cracking me up, sorry, because I keep seeing it like pacing out of my peripheral vision here. Is there, so I'm going to say Grim Reaper. Is there like a Grim Reaper type thing, but like not like the Grim Reaper coming to take you when you're dead? Like, is there like a monument or if other people have experiences? Like, it looks like it's kind of like looking and it's like, I don't know, it looks like the Grim Reaper.
In Bonaventure or Lakewood?
Yeah, for Bonaventure. I just had a couple of pictures up and I'm like seeing it, like as I'm looking at some of the pictures, I'm like seeing it like pace through, but it almost looks like it's moving as a monument. I don't know how to explain. It's like the stone thing, so it's not like what you think of the Grim Reaper, but it's almost like a, I don't know, it's like a moving concrete stone version of the Grim Reaper, but the head swivels. The rest of it's not moving, just heads moving like back and forth, but the rest of the whole thing is like not.
I don't know, moving. Melanie. Is there a monument that might look like that in Bonaventure? Because I don't.
Let me bust out the Google.
Do that while I start Googling in another tab. One of the most famous stones there, and she is said to play with and greet people, is Little Gracie.
AKA Oracle.
This one, I believe, is probably the one that I've spent the most time looking at because of that dark shape behind her head. And part of me, and I'm like, is that a window in the building behind the trees? Is that because of how it's perfectly shaped? So maybe Melanie, you can give me a little more info on what is behind her, because it doesn't appear in the other pictures, but it also looks like different times of year because the foliage is a little different. But Gracie, her stone there was carved by now a really well-renowned stone carver sculptor. And her parents had that placed because they worked at a local hotel, and not long after she had passed, their jobs shifted and they were moved out of state. And her father was so heartbroken that he had to leave and could not stay and watch over her that, this was commissioned to watch over her. So I'm not sure, Kayla, if you're picking up anything on Gracie or, what she likes to do with people as they're.
Well, the first picture you sent me, of course, made me sick before I even knew what was going on. You just, hit me out of the blue with, here's some pictures. And I was in the middle of doing things. I was like, oh, thanks for making me sick. But now we know that she was sick and she passed away for being sick. So, that followed through with the picture you sent me. So I feel like she's very playful, and I feel like she wants to help people also. I feel like there's a lot of helpers there. It's kind of neat. Sorry, I was pulling up the Grim Reaper thing, trying to figure that out, but I'll get back to that. So I feel like she touches a lot of people's hair and grabs a lot of people's hands, but not in a mean way, I want to show you this, or I'm over here, and just kind of very social. She's not a shy child. It does not feel like at all. But I feel like she's not just there. So I feel like just going there and expecting to see her isn't just it. She's around a lot of areas, and I feel like she really likes the flowers too. And is there a frog pond type area? I'm sure there's got to be a pond somewhere. It's a cemetery. I feel like she really likes the frogs. I keep seeing frogs by her feet. So.
Oh, okay. She says there's no buildings anywhere near her, so that takes the window theory out of that spot.
There's so much behind that picture. Okay, I'm gonna open it up on my phone again.
So here's another one of her, and the foliage is thicker. It looks more like a crown now, kind of behind her head, like a 3-pointed crown. She's near the river, so she must go play in the river with the little frogs.
So it makes it with the water and the okay. Actually, hold on. Let me zoom in on. I'm trying to find the exact same picture because you sent me, like you said, the foliage is different in a couple, so I'm just trying to go to that one. Here. I honestly, really truthfully, I'm not picking up anything behind her in that area.
Okay. So
I'm seeing a lot of the foliage and trees and the way the branches are, and I'm pulling up the one where the foliage is less, and that area ties to where that other it's just a different way the branches are in that spot.
This is fun.
She likes the energy of the water. Definitely. She definitely can pick up on that and feel that, feed off of it, kind of.
So it's funny that you ask about where the Grim Reaper.
Oh yeah. Can I go back to it?
And I'm going to put this link in notes. And she says yes, taken at different times of the year. Because here is a third one.
I feel like spring's your favorite time of year. I keep seeing all these bright flowers and buds and the bugs coming out, like that kind of stuff. I feel like she just loved everything, and so I feel like spring's her favorite time with all the new stuff coming out. So I would be willing to bet that she's definitely more active in the springtime because it's her favorite time.
And now to kind of touch back when she said oracle, if you quickly look at her name and the shrubbery, it looks like oracle real quick. If you don't know that that's Gracie.
Yeah. So I think that was the first picture you sent me, right? Was that one?
And the first one, actually, in the order that I sent them, now whether or not they came through that way, was actually her little, little bio about her.
That was the last one to come through to me. Out of everything you sent me, that was the last one to come through.
Okay. Yeah, that was the first one I sent. So it's funny how in traveling through the waves too.
Right. And like when I said I felt sick, as soon as I opened that picture, like, oh geez, thanks, Melissa. Thanks for sending me a picture that just made me want to like puke on myself while I was in the middle of doing something. It like told me off my game there for a second. I was like, oh, ooh, whoa. My head was spinning and it was just like this whole thing. And that was the last one to come through. And then I was like, oh, it's Gracie, not Oracle. Okay. So
Melanie's like, when is she not active?
Well, I think there's different times in season. Actually, I remember it's on this, right? That says she passed near Easter. Yeah, it's on this. Yeah. So, I mean, that's reasonable that she's more active then also, but I feel like she just in general really likes the new, fresh things, the, spring rain, because what kid doesn't want to play in rain and puddles, especially back in that time period, right? There wasn't, tablets and stuff to sit and drown yourself in. So, she's a very busy little girl for sure.
Now, does she sometimes follow
people
people
like the hub of the cemetery? It's almost like a lot like kind of like revolves around her and her energy.
Now, does she follow people home sometimes to go play and then come back? Because you mentioned
I don't think she actually leaves. I feel like she follows people to an extent, but she likes being there. I feel like she really likes everything there. She's like a little social butterfly. I kind of see her with butterfly wings on, actually, like the little, like the ones that kids can put on. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like she really follows people. She wants to stay where she's at, and I feel like she has a connection to that guy. I don't know how far away they are in relation, like at location wise, physical here, like the cemetery location. But like I see like him patting her on the head, like, oh, there's my friend, kind of a thing, but not her father. But I feel like there's like a connection of like they have an energetic bond there, and they both really like being with the land, with the spirits that are there, with the energy of everything there. Like they still like being there. So those aren't the two to worry about traveling home with you.
They're gonna stay there.
Yeah, so that may walk you to your car to be polite and be friendly, but I don't see them traveling home with anybody.
So I'm going to put in link for this website here, the bonaventurehistorical.org. And it's funny because I think it's part of a blog post, but it says looking for the Grim Reaper. Well, it's not at Bonaventure.
I just pulled that up. I just typed it back in. Yeah, it's like it's not there. So what is he doing at the cemetery then?
So I wonder, because of so many people looking for him, is this almost like a tulpa sort of thing now, where people are expecting it, so it creates that energy form?
Right. That's what I was just going to ask that. Or is he like, come to my cemetery, like me and you, come to our side. We have cookies over here. Right. So like, is he trying to draw attention over to that cemetery also? Like, hey, there's things going on here and we don't get noticed for it.
Yeah. So
pack up your ego, Grim Reaper. We'll get to you.
There's no Grim Reaper monument in Bonaventure. And here's why people are expecting to show up, because it got used in a blog post. This piece was carved and done in Germany, if I read that correctly. But because the author of this blog had used that, people are showing up like, hey, where is this monument? And he's not there.
That's a little different. I'm just pulling it up now to look at the picture. If anybody. So it's not exactly what I was seeing. It was more blocky at the bottom. Like it didn't have legs on it, and it wasn't holding the lantern, but it had the sickle over it.
She's like, if you're looking for the Grim Reaper, go to Colonial Cemetery. Well, ma'am, now we need pictures of Colonial.
You have a mission. So it's interesting. It's almost like he was kind of being a creeper. I guess it makes it kind of a rhyming thing. He's kind of like being a creeper at this cemetery, like popping into these things like, hey, over here. Like, come on. And so this is a little bit different, but similar enough that it was interesting because I saw it just like on a block. Like it just looked like from the knees down was a block, basically like a regular monument block. And then I could see like a sickle on this side. and the face was like a little bit more covered, but it was funny because it was moving as the whole monument was moving, like it was on casters or something, and just his head was turning. So
it's making me think of those angel statues from Doctor Who. I think maybe my in the pictures, they're all lovely, but I think the most beautiful ones are of the cemetery portion for the veterans.
yeah.
And because of these old trees, like I love the old trees, the overhang, the shade, and it always gives like this feeling of peace and solitude, which quite frankly, these veterans deserve. But I couldn't quite see anything in them. And I'm going to admit, as I'm getting older, up close, far away, where's that perfect spot? And laugh if you want, but I caught myself sitting there trying to zoom in pictures because I'm like, I can't see that well. But I was like, Kayla, are you? And that is a live person in the background there, so
Right.
that is
I was
not
just gonna address that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's all the feels, right? Like happy, sad, pride, loss, like all the feels are packed into that area. The biggest thing I pick up from there though is pride. Like it's very different than our here and now culture for that. And like you said, the old trees, the big old trees, like really solidify that. Like we're here to stay, like the deep roots, and just, I mean, that tree's not bending anywhere anytime soon. So I really like that. I mean, I'm assuming there's other ones right in that area because the area feels very, very grounded to me. Like it should be. Okay. Why, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Click a button.
It has this overwhelming of every emotion to me. Like, honestly, it would probably be a pretty cool spot to sit and meditate just for your own personal things, because it feels like there's just so much there. So, kind of going off track a little bit, like when I ground, right, I'm not like super earthy grounder because I work more with universal things. This feels like a spot that I would go if I wanted to ground, like really be into the earth grounded, because it just feels so collective and wholesome and just peaceful despite everything that's represented there. So I think that part, more than any of the rest of the cemetery, has really changed the land in general also. Do we know what was there beforehand? Because I feel like there's a lot more chaos. So before you answer that, so it doesn't seem weird, I feel like there's a lot more chaos and hardship there in that specific area. And this brought a lot of peace back to this area, like regrounded it and made it something meaningful again.
No, but given that it was part of a 600-acre plantation, there's no telling
right
what's going on.
And, I mean, the reality is a lot of things like that aren't documented either, right? I mean, not everything was. People didn't run to Facebook way back in the day to be like, this is what happened today. I got cut off by horse and buggy.
Melanie's, do I have the evening shot? I don't. I just flipped through everything, and the 5 pictures of the veterans are all daytime.
Does it feel staticky when you're there, Melanie? Because I feel staticky here from all the energy, and it's not like a bad energy, not like a dark paranormal type thing. It's like a very staticky, like it surrounds you, but it's like a good, peaceful, healing sensation to me.
I don't have the one with the orbs. At least
I wasn't seeing orbs in the ones that you sent me. I don't know if you got to send them all or.
I didn't, because like we had 5 pictures of the veterans, and I'm like, well, let's do some of the most interesting. I sent you the 2 for the fountain. We have the one with the wall. Yeah, all of the ones that I have here are daytime, and I thought you had sent me another batch of pictures. I thought and I, for the life of me, like I keep all of this stuff together and it wasn't there. So I wonder if at some point I left them with Mary Ann. But I will say in all of these pictures, like I want nothing more than to go sit back, in this shaded area
Yep,
and
exactly.
see.
That's exactly where I was.
Yeah, I want to go sit back in there and
Road
just
trip.
feel and listen. And I'm like, how much of that is the land energy that's like guarding the place, um, on top of the soldiers that are there?
Well, so I was like tapping into the land and asking, like, are you upset about some of this? But like this area, like made the land come back to where it felt peaceful. Like I feel like whatever the hardship was that happened there and the chaos that was there before, the land basically needed this, and it's really happy to like basically honored, if that makes sense, to have this there and rebalance this area.
Mm-hmm.
Like it shows me a balance of like light and dark, chaos and peace. Like this area just shows me so much balance.
The ones of Gracie Glow, I think Marianne has those ones. I think when I brought those to her and showed her, yeah, I think Marianne has the other set with, because now that you say that, I do remember the picture. So she had sent a nighttime picture of Gracie, and it's odd, right? There's not an easy explanation of how that monument lights up in that nighttime photo. I will have to, if you want to resend them, that would be great. That way Marianne's got a copy and I got a copy.
Well, so that can happen, right? Like when you're taking pictures, I mean, obviously there's like environmental reasons that those things can happen, right? But spirit's energy will pick that up, even if it's not her, if there's people there surrounding her. So I'm not seeing the picture, but just in general, right? If you're at a cemetery, you're taking pictures of these kind of things. That light will kind of reflect to some extent off of the energies that are there. Even if it's not an orb, it's like a mist. It doesn't always have to be like. One of my frustrations as far as paranormal stuff goes is not everything is a dark mist. Not everything is like a harmful spirit. Not like there's other things that are like really peaceful. They get together too. It's okay. Like they can get together and hang out. I feel like there's also a lot of peace but more like joy. Like the veterans part feels like peace and solid and grounding, where hers is like peaceful but happy, fluffy, like frolicking around kind of thing. Like very, is there a lot of fairy activity there too? I'm saying there's a lot of fairy activity there around her. Like I feel like there is. I don't know if anybody's had those experiences, but to me, there's definitely fairy activity around there for sure.
Yeah. And then I didn't put up both pictures of the wall, but there is, is this up at the front entrance as you're coming in, Melanie? Like, because it looks like there's maybe a drive path near there. There's a monument.
I keep hearing too much. Like it was too much. They didn't want this, so I can't read what it says whatsoever.
Yeah.
Personally, but I feel like who is tied to, what is tied to, like what it's for, because I'm not sure. What I'm hearing back from it, like from who's tied to it, is like it was too much. Like they wanted something more modest.
I also feel like the person attached to this was scholarly, be it a teacher of sort or somebody who was like, you go into their house and there's books stacked everywhere. Like they were always learning and reading and just absorbing knowledge.
I'm trying to find that too. Zoom in on my end.
Oh, so it's the front of the veterans section. Okay.
Okay.
I could see that if they're like, hey, that's too much, right? Because a lot of them are very much.
I'm trying to save it and put it into like, to edit the contrast so I can try to read it to see what it's for. Unless somebody out there has really good eyes and you want to tell us what it says, that would be kind of cool too. But meantime,
I've tried to. It's the fact that the raised letters on the plate, like they're not a different color, or highlighted in a different color, makes it hard. And I'm getting old. My eyes don't work like they used to.
Nothing works like it used to. Let's not kid ourselves here.
I was very, very grudgingly upset that I had to give in for some, uh, no line bifocals, and I still can't always see all the things that's right in front of my face. Um, but and I know Melanie, she's forever asking. She's like, "When are you coming to Georgia?" And there are so many times that I'm like, I need a getaway, and maybe
And
like,
maybe Caleb will fit in your suitcase. You just don't know.
let's meet up and let's go walk around the town and take pictures and sneak into cemeteries. Oh, I said that part out loud.
So it says, I can't even try this. Sacred something of the memory of Veterans World War, I can't tell. Post maybe 33, 88, 38, something like that. So this isn't very helpful to me. American Legion is at the very bottom. So there's like there's two different sides of it. It looks like maybe like it's
yeah. So she gave us both. I uploaded one just because I was running out of how many files I could upload for the live.
Gotcha.
And I'm not sure if the plate is the same on both sides or if it's a continuation from one to the other. But Melanie, do people leave any offerings or like toys, trinkets for like either Gracie or any of the veterans? Like, do they leave things around for them as they're visiting out of respect? I feel like Gracie would love having a little doll, but
right.
Maybe the cemetery doesn't.
I keep seeing a doll, and
okay. So they do, and so I wasn't sure if the cemetery allowed that.
Like, I'm seeing like it wouldn't go as rolling is what I see, or like a little buggy thing.
And I wonder, like, do you know, will the cemetery immediately snatch it up, the groundskeepers, or do they let it sit there for a little while so she gets to play with it before they? I would hope for the toys and stuff that they wouldn't immediately just throw it away, like donate it to a homeless shelter or something with kids before you, right. Just trash it. Okay. She's like, no, but I mean, the cemetery looks huge. It is huge, 600 acres if they turn the whole thing into it, or if they have part of it blocked off and like eventually they'll expand into it. But it looks like one that you could spend a day in, really like just looking at all of the artwork that are the monuments and really connecting. Like, I'm loving the old street.
Right. The first place you and I would end up would be the veterans area. Just hang out. Yeah. I know that's where we would end up.
Yeah. Let me go find my people. I myself am not a veteran, but come from a heavily veteran family. And current partner is a veteran. And like, I find them even when I'm not looking for them. Here they come. Right. It's a collection. Yeah. She's like, it looks more like a sculpture garden, and that fantastic. I know in the picture of the fountain, my first thought when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, I wish they would upkeep that more.
I was kind of yeah.
Yeah, it looked kind of ran down, like they weren't paying as much attention to the fountain. Let them stay until have to take them away. Nice. So that's good. So Gracie gets to play with it. I'm sure there's got to be other little kids out there in the,
I definitely feel like there's other kids, but I feel like she's young and playful at heart, but she's also more mature than the other kids her age. So I feel like she tends to gravitate towards adults more than kids. So even like the toys type things, like I feel like babyish toys aren't exactly her thing. It has to be like a little bit more like a nurturing type thing or something that relates to an adult type thing for her to be most interested in it.
Well, I wonder, since she is so active and many years have gone by, like,
she matured as a ghost, as a spirit.
Is she the toys for back in her time versus what the kids at that same age would play with now are drastically different? Like, do you think you'd be more comfortable with today's type of toys versus, here's just a raggedy doll, like a Raggedy Ann type doll that she would have had back then?
I feel like she's really easily amused and just happy with like trinket type things more than complex
Okay.
movement. Like I feel like I keep seeing, like you were saying doll, and I was seeing like the ball and like a little wooden cart looking type thing. But it feels like she likes things that can move. So like she would have the doll in the cart or carry it around with her, that kind of thing. She likes things with move. Kind of like I also keep seeing a raven with her, but not like the dark side of that. Like the trinkets, the fun, the freedom.
Mm.
So shiny things, again, the fairy stuff keeps popping up too. Like I feel like there's a very strong fairy energy for her, which quite a few kids have. So I really feel like she likes those kind of things.
Okay. Melanie says they leave small stuffed animals and like coins for her.
Oranges, I see oranges too. Like I don't know, she must have liked oranges because I'm seeing a lot of oranges, not just an orange ball, like specifically oranges. So
Well, I mean, they're Georgia, Florida. That would be, you know, kind of,
I keep thinking we're like in Ohio almost. I'm like tapping into these things, but I'm like,
no, she's a Southern gal. And it makes sense when you said earlier that she rather hang out with adults than kids because of her parents working at that hotel nearby. She was around adults all the time, and she would sing and dance and like greet the guests as they were coming and going. So
that definitely doesn't seem like it's changed for her at all. Like, she loves that kind of thing.
So
no stranger danger, basically.
yeah, she would need a good talking to in this day and age of like, you know, yes, there are guests coming in, but you don't go to the room with the guests. You stay right here. You you know, you don't get in the cars, you don't get in the buggies, you don't go walking down the road with them. You stay here.
So I also see, I don't know if there's any record of this, but this is the second time seeing it, so I'm bringing it back up. I don't know if there's any record of her losing a baby brother, because I see a little baby boy next to her. Like small, like in a bassinet baby boy.
I did not see anything of that written down, but I did not know to go down that rabbit hole. So
it feels like I'm seeing more of a connection than just like there's a baby, male baby born, or that was there. So it could also be another family member. I'll try to dig into that a little bit more. It could be things like a miscarriage. I don't know how far you guys want me to tap into this part being tied to her, but I was just seeing this little boy, like a little bassinet basket type thing next to her.
Yeah, the only thing, like looking at her history, I should say, it went into like how her parents were at the hotel. She would greet them. I forget how long after she passed that their job moved them out of state back up into New England. So, rather far away. And so the father was so distraught over losing her and then not being there to guard over her, area that monument was commissioned.
Right.
But I didn't see anything about more of that inter-family connection of what happened before, Gracie passed.
I'm just kind of like tapping into their situation and asking a few questions here. So, I mean, you can keep talking and I'll if you want. I'll make some notes here, but I'm
like, what is going to be the correct search term to get Google to return what I'm looking
for? So I feel like her mom and dad lost a baby after her. This was after she passed.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's any record of that, but I feel like there was a little boy that was lost, and she kept his spirit. So it was not when they were there, not, at the same time as her.
Yeah, everything is just revolving around her. I'm not finding anything about siblings after.
Yeah, I don't see a connection to them when she was living. It's like now that she's very tethered to him. So, and when I tapped into that, it was like a miscarriage type thing that happened. But I feel like, is there record of how the mom passed? Because I feel illness tied to her also.
Let me see here. But guys, while we're investigating, new information coming through, so there's not complete dead silence.
And clicking on keep.
Yeah, if you have questions or comments, feel free to ask.
Things you're seeing, experiencing, that'd be,
Yeah, if you're finding anything, and I can change the pictures, let people look at different ones, see what you might find, what you might notice. I would love to go down and see this.
And wear a GoPro so we can all go with you.
So Melanie says there is a section called Babyland.
Okay, well that sounds a little creepy.
Her parents worked at the Pulaski House, one of Savannah's leading hotels, where the beautiful and charming little girl was a favorite with the guests. So the hotel was called the Pulaski House, and I wonder if the Pulaski House is still standing, even if it's renamed, because that would be interesting to kind of go through.
Yeah.
So the sculptor was John Waltz. She says the mother passed many years later and was never the same after she died.
Yeah.
Oh, it is still standing. That's interesting. That would be.
Just typing that in. It says it was demolished in 1956. But then it's still, let's see here. Because one thing says it's still standing, the other thing says it was demolished in 1956.
It's where the Historical Society would be able to give a better. Is one of those sites?
This is from the Georgia Historical Society. This one came up. So I'll just.
Is that the one saying it was demolished?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Chris pulls in. She's like, here's what it says. Sacred to the memory of veterans of World War, Chatham Post, number 36, Savannah Post, number 135, the American Legion.
Why, thank you.
Chris has got them eyes, man. I'll read this for you.
I'm like starting to read. I just got new contacts. I'm like, maybe they're not what I.
All right, so we're all gonna have to do a road trip down to Georgia.
It closed in 1948, and it was demolished in 1956. Hosts a lot of prominent guests through the 19th century. Ooh, there's a wine list from 1874.
Oh, this is a really pretty hotel.
I'll send you over the link that I have, and then for that, you can decide.
Let me see here. Oh, now I got to tell it to change it to a PDF so we can upload it. There we go. Because, requirements for streaming and software. And hopefully it won't take forever to load while we're live. So here is what the Pulaski House looked like down in Savannah.
Nice.
And so that's where little Gracie would greet people. She would sing and dance for them. Melanie, do you have any idea how far away the hotel is from the cemetery? Really pretty. Almost reminds me of a street corner down in New Orleans, even, or an old time New York corner.
It's very like Southern Belle, Alabama.
Yeah.
Georgia. Her mom's buried in Albany Cemetery. I'm trying to find out more about her mom. That's what I'm trying to do.
But yeah, interesting. I love old cemeteries, and back in my younger years, I would kind of sneak into them and just sit out there at night. And some of the most quiet, relaxing places in the evening and nighttime to just chill. She's like, okay, that would have been the historical district where this one was taken. Be really, really pretty to stay. Like if we could find the actual address, go down to Georgia and be like, here's where it stood, or here's where it is, maybe like remodeled,
right.
But if the Historical Society is saying that it was demolished, I wonder what it is now on that corner.
I really want to know more about her mom and how she, because I feel like there was medical issues there, and like I want to know if there was like a miscarriage, because that's the information I'm giving. So of course I want to, I want to know.
Located at Bull and St. Julian Streets in Johnson Square.
Both the Google Maps.
Today, Morrison's Cafeteria occupies the site. Really, you're going to tear down this historic hotel and put a cafeteria? I feel offended. Let's see what Morrison's Cafeteria looks like. Probably not near as pretty. Their food could be good, who knows? But I'm still a little upset. It looks like a regular cafe restaurant. Nothing to see here.
Nothing special?
No. Let's see. Back we go.
Everything just is almost like Gracie's taken over like everybody's history, because so I'm trying to search for her mom and found like where the grave is, like all this stuff, right? But everything just goes right back to her history. It's like there's not like a lot of information about
the people around her. It's all coming back to her. So let's upload this Morrison's Cafeteria. So Marianne, she liked the photos. I don't think she really saw anything in the veterans section parts. We started to look at Gracie, if I remember right. I was showing her at one of the wine and spirits, and then people were coming up to the table, and that's where, left them with her, meant to touch back. So I'll have to text her. Be like, hey, dig out those photos. Let's have a conversation. All right, I need to delete a photo out to upload the new Morrison's. It only lets me have so many loaded at a time. My computer. Here we go. So we go from this beautiful Pulaski house to this now.
Oh.
Right?
So like it was taken off. It was like 1950s, 1960s cafe, not like. Yeah,
and it's still there. They've done some renovations on like that overhang. Some pictures it's got the name on it. Other pictures it doesn't. There's a couple pictures with that top part where it says Morrison's has been kind of like flattened, and it's not as tall and inclined. So, but that is still there. I can see why Gracie rather play in the cemetery with all the people, because she went
right.
from this to this. Right? So, Marianne, I love the fact that she's embracing her retirement, but because she's embracing it so hard, it's like pulling teeth a little bit to get her
She
to.
deserves it, though. All the healers and readers deserve their
Yes.
time away.
Yes, because I get so many people that are like, I love the podcast when you guys were doing it, not even necessarily the lives, the podcast, I have that because it was separate. And and I'm like, go tell her. I'm like, that's the only thing I can tell you is maybe if there's enough people, we can at least get her to do the weekly podcast episode. But
maybe monthly. Don't push her to weekly or every just once in a while. Have her just be a special guest and pop in when she feels up to it.
Yeah, and maybe if we do a part 2 of the cemetery here and the nighttime Gracie photos, be like, Marianne, pretty, please.
I'd like to see the nighttime ones.
Pouty lip,
puppy eyes.
Yeah.
Cookies. What else can we bribe her with?
I need everybody to send in their pretty please pouty face, begging face pictures so I can show them to her, and maybe in mass we will win her over.
I say let her have her peaceful time, unless she wants to come back as a guest. I feel like she should not be committed to anything. She should just be able to. If you made that comment, don't commit me to anything. That's kind of
she and Ted have a lot going on. They're not young spring chickens anymore. And they're just slowing down, and they have every right to. And though I think, I suspect there's a part of her that misses being able to interact with people and talk about it. And especially now in this day and age where you're not crazy to talk about ghosts and, to share the experiences. Right. Chris is like, let's all line up at Wagner's and tell her.
Stand out there with posters.
Yeah, right. Because I even thought about, I'm like, well, if these weren't her experiences that she had to remember and come up with and sort through, if I could come up with at least maybe one a month of, say, a more famous site or something, and find either pictures or videos from our friends like Melanie who have been there and be like, Marianne, what do you see? What are you picking up? Or free public domain pictures, videos of things, and be like, what do you see or picking up? And just, let her join us that way. And, or like, Kayla, if you had pictures of a place, just something to be like, you do no work, just show up and talk. You don't have to recall your stories. You don't have to think back of what happened. You don't have to go digging through your box of notes from home clearing. We got this. Just join us once in a while. And
but sometimes it's more work to just tap into everything and just retell. I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on the situation.
Well, she would just be looking at the picture or video and be like, there's nothing there. She can just by looking, rather than, I feel like this is going, she doesn't go that way with it. And so that's where we might have to have more than one lined up to keep her occupied.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. It's people can have experiences, but it doesn't mean it's captured on camera. The areas can be active. It doesn't mean it's captured on camera. Because there's a lot of these that they're great pictures, but there wasn't things going on in all of them. So, like I said, the fountain one, I didn't even see that originally until it was on the screen. I was like, and I felt it right away. As soon as, I noticed that part, it was I actually felt it through me, not just there's something over here.
Now, were there any other pictures that there was something in that we either didn't talk about it because we got sidetracked, or was there anything in any of the veteran photos? Or did you pick up anything? Are
you asking me or?
Yeah.
Melanie. Okay. I thought maybe you were talking with her about her experience. I was like, I can chime in. Let me go back to the veterans ones. I didn't have a ton of time to sit and look at them, but usually, like you said, it's usually pretty instant because you almost more feel it than just see the things. Hence Gracie making me sick right away. And there was the living guy in there, which where are we here? Okay. I mean, more from I honestly, what I pick up from that is more about the land being happy that they're there and proud to have them, and just like the energy from all the people, not so much like direct spirit activity.
Hmm. The I love the pictures of the veterans area.
Yeah.
And the thing that keeps drawing me is that patch that's in the back, and I'm like, what resides in that tree area? You know.
I think it's like the peaceful land part. It's like it brought so much peace back. I truly get the impression they don't want a lot of attention there. Like I feel like they try to lay low unless it's somebody that like specifically they are connecting to, as far as like another veteran or a family member. I feel like they just really want to lay low. It was a different culture, right? Like they weren't looking for. They did things out of pride, not attention. That the monument or like the big wall to go in there, like I was hearing too much, not knowing what it said. But now that we know it's the veterans thing, that makes a lot of sense. Like they did this like because they wanted to, not because they want all this attention for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, none of these things have I felt anything like really intense, dark, harmful, anything like that. Even like the Grim Reaper thing that popped in didn't feel like it was a bad thing. It was more like nosy is what it seemed like. And now we know that was from like a whole nother area.
Yeah. That's so many down the road. Why do you
guys more popular? Right. They can walk through walls, like you're gonna stop them from going from cemetery to cemetery to check things out. So
yeah. So we're already at 11. I'm like, ooh, look at that. It's almost time to go to work.
Ew.
Right? Like this adulting sucks. If any of our friends have pictures or hopefully short video of any places that you have been that you're like, ooh, I think I caught something, or what do you think? And you're willing to share with us, feel free to send to info@Goddessily, and we'll go over them. We'll put them up. Let us know in the email if you want us to say who supplied them, or if you'd rather kind of remain anonymous in the background. Melanie's like, you can't set foot in Colonial Cemetery. Why? And how high is the fence? Just saying.
What if you're ordained?
Why won't you let me in? I want to go see it. Because I feel like there's a big energy shift there. It's a very peaceful now. Like there's an understanding that times have changed and it's for the better. Is it swampy? You can't set foot. It's open to the public. Do you feel a certain way when you try to go there? Is that why you can't go in? Now I'm curious about Colonial Cemetery.
I mean, all the emotions were intense. I like wanted to cry, laugh, pout, like angry. Like, I was like everything all at once. Like, whoa, let's process these one at a time.
Right. And I. So when I moved, I went from 2,200 square foot house to this little 2-bedroom apartment. I like the cozy, but that means there are still some things in like boxes, and I know that there is a photo album of cemetery pictures that I have taken, and there's a few from the back 40 of Fort Campbell, and managed to capture a couple things in those pictures. And I am like, where do I have them stashed?
I've lost almost all of mine too. That's the weird thing. Or like they were with other paranormal teams and they kept them all, like that kind of stuff. So I'm like, oh, that kind of is. I don't know. I had some really cool ones. I think I might be able to find a couple of them. I had a whole flash drive full of digital ones. That's just gone. I haven't been able to find it in probably freaking 8 years. It's like, It's annoying because there's some really, really awesome ones on there. I'm like, there's no way that's disappeared. There just isn't a way that it disappeared.
Yeah. And when I find them, because I'm like, I know I'm going to, it's like I can already say that I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly where on the back 40 of Fort Campbell, because like these are little family plots that are just scattered back there. There's not like cemetery named markers or anything. They're little bitty plots, and you kind of find them by accident as you're just kind of wandering around. And you have to be careful back there because that is where they're doing field exercises and ordnance, and so you can't go too far off or you'll end up in trouble. But there are some cool little places back there on the back 40, and caught a couple things. So I'm like, where is this box? My husband can go into Colonial Cemetery. It has a hangman's tree.
Actually, I was wondering about that when I saw the first picture that you put up. I'm like, oh, those are hangman's tree, the ones that with the big branches that come out straight out to the side. I'm like, oh, those are hangman's trees. So that makes sense. But that was like the old chaos from the land, so that makes sense with that.
Mm-hmm. So if anybody has pictures or videos or things that you'd like to share, be it ghost or fairy or anything in that woo-woo umbrella, we would love to see them and share them and talk about them. It is a safe spot. We are not going to tell you that you're crazy because you think you got a fairy in a tree on a picture, like send them in. Let's go. Let's talk about it. And it's funny because sometimes you're taking a picture because it's pretty and you may not even see it till you look at the picture later and it comes back and you're like, holy cow, that wasn't there. Thanks. Melanie's going to get us some nighttime photos of Gracie to go over. If it's easier and cheaper, Melanie, you can, if you have them digitally, you can just email them over if you don't want to have to do postage and all of that. But if you could do me a favor and like send me an email with like your email or contact info, because I reread the letter a couple times and I'm like, am I blatantly missing an email in here? And there wasn't one. That way I can let you know when we're going to do them. So we can ask you questions. But yeah, anybody else with cool pictures, things, videos, experiences, feel free to share them. Let's go over them. Kayla, I feel like maybe some of your pictures from Maine, I wonder if you captured any land divas that, you didn't realize you did until you started
to share that stuff yet.
Yeah.
So I will say this. I'm not going to talk about my experiences, my personal things that happened there. I was on native land. I'm part Penobscot. I was on Penobscot land. I lost well over 500 photos. This is the third time I know this is going to happen to me when I'm on native land. It's not the first time it's happened to me. But I was taking a lot of really great photos. I had some things, and my camera completely shorted out, said card read error, cleared all my photos. So I don't have a lot of pictures left. I have another SD card that has some on there, but they were like test shots of me setting up for like actual photography of wildlife and sunsets, not just stuff. So they were settings changed things. But yeah, I had some pretty cool experiences that I did try to take pictures of. Some things that my friend was doing that I took pictures of, and when I was taking pictures of what my friend was doing and the person that was helping him, that's when my camera shut down and all the pictures got deleted. So as far, like, it might have been more than 500 photos. So I'm kind of disappointed because it was a really, really big SD card. So I had some other ones from way before this, but also all these pictures. Some of the other ones are still on there from long before this, but every single one from Maine and a few from my trip before that, completely gone, not able to be restored. They, I think 5 or 6 of them came back when I tried to restore the SD card, and they were just black with red stripes through them. So to answer your question, no, I don't have any cool pictures from Maine for that stuff because they're all gone. So I kind of looked through some and see if I happen to catch anything else. There were some meth heads in the area. Those aren't spirits. They were just creepy on their own. It was an intense thing. But yeah, there's not my spirits, the land spirits, all of it did not want me to bring these things home.
That was for you and you only, apparently.
Yeah, and I mean that was my big thing for this trip, and like tying to yesterday's the Healer's Corner thing. And it was like, no, you need this time for yourself. You don't need to prove that you were here. You don't need to be doing photography while you're here. Like, you are getting shut down. You're focusing on you. You're focusing on your like ancestral history. You're gonna do this, and it was just like, yeah, so cool, but also kind of a bummer.
Like, that is relaxing to take my pictures, and that is,
right.
Like,
so
don't shut me down.
And I was like so excited about some of the things some of the shots I had. I was like so excited about. Now they're just gone, and it's just my camera's been working fine since. So,
right. All right. Well, 11/11. Haha. You get into that. My new favorite meme.
11/11, right? Yeah. So my Uncle Fritz, who owns our land. I don't think you've been to our land. You've been to my house, but I don't think I've ever gotten to take you to my land, which we should do because there's some really cool stuff there.
Well, I know at one point when you mentioned it, I'm like, oh, that would be cool. And at that time, I don't think I was in well enough with your parents yet or whatever, that you're like, yeah, they don't let outsiders in. And and now that you're like, yeah, you should come out. And I'm like, woohoo, I made it.
Well, I think like if I don't show the house area, right? Like if I like work around this and it's not a group, like if it's just me and you, it's fine. But to take a group of people there, they're not gonna have that. There's also some really cool cemeteries around there we can go check out. And I don't know, maybe we can do some live things from there, at least record some stuff over there. But so Loki, my best boy Loki, he passed away on 11/11 at 11/11. So. Aww. And Taps was playing, not by the vet's choosing. It just happened to, even the vet walked in when this was all happening. She's like, huh. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So
he was such
today would have actually been Loki's birthday.
Aw.
Yeah.
he was a sweet little gentleman cat with his little bow tie, and yeah.
I was like, he wasn't a cat, he was an angel. I'm like, I know, my sweet boy. And then he sent me Nacho, who is probably could use demonic clearing. I don't know. He's not that bad.
That's to balance you out. But yeah, so we will find something to talk about next week. So you guys
I do have the photos, I believe, on my Kirby page that we can pull up, because like I said, somehow I managed to lose all. It's weird how that happens, right? Like you can't find your photos, I can't find mine. But I think I have some that are actually saved from maybe like House of Wills and some other stuff in Ohio that we might be able to like pull up and do something with.
Yeah, definitely pull those up. I will have to have you, when you find the ones that you want to share, like put them in Facebook Messenger or something, so then I can get them switched and be able to load them up in for the live. She's like, I will be here with all the kittens. You showed your new little guy very briefly last night. Mine he is sleeping over on the couch in where I sit right now. He might be right.
Nope, he's not my curtain. A lot of times when I'm like doing remote, whether it's remote work or something like this, he's just in the curtain. Just every once in a while, like you'll see me like look over there because he just like pokes his head out and like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, okay, you're still working. And he just like tucks right back into the curtain. I'm like, I'll watch birds till you're done.
Yeah. But yeah, send them to me in like Facebook so I can convert them over and then be able to load them up so everybody can see.
Okay.
But thanks for joining, guys.
Thanks for sending in the pictures.
And yeah, thank you, Melanie. And Melanie's going to send us more of the nighttime pictures of Gracie. But I need to start getting down the road and get the store open and ready. Get the rooms ready for the readers. And whatever UPS and FedEx are going to be dropping off to me. Everybody laughs. They're like, we love that you forget what you ordered. And I'm like, I have an idea of what's coming, but when you order versus when they arrive, don't always.
FedEx, I hate FedEx. I despise them with every fiber of my body because they're never on time with anything.
Yeah. Uh, any size requests? If you mean like the pictures, I get what is that? 3x5s? 3x5s work? Okay.
4x6 probably. I feel like 4x6 is the normal thing.
So they don't need to be overly big.
Ooh, I'm sending you a really good one right now. I was hoping I had this one saved on here since I can't find the flash drive with it. This was at the Knickerbocker Hotel, and I actually got electrocuted by my camera to the point I dropped my camera on the ground.
Oh.
And it hurt really bad.
Okay. Well, that'll be coming through. I got my notifications turned off, so not to interrupt our live, but we'll get those ready for next week. I do have the one from the House of Wills where there's the doppelganger of Glenn. Background behind him, but I think we've showed that one before already.
He happens to be in this picture too, so we'll have to edit since we don't have approval. So we'll do some editing, some emoji stickers or something.
Right. But well, thanks for joining, guys. Hopefully you can join us next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next round of Ghost Pictures, Ghost Talk, and all things woo-woo. We can even talk about like aliens, fairies, and all the other stuff because Kayla sees it all. And she's friends with them all. So if you have aliens interrupting your life, you can tell her to tell her friends to leave you alone. And
their friends to
But we will see you guys next week, 10 a.m. for the next paranormal talk and discussion.
Sounds good.
All right.
Bye everybody. Have a good day.